The first weekend of the Battlefield 6 open beta has been finally wrapped up, and the battlefield was nothing short of electric. I spent a couple of good hours diving deep into every mode, exploring every corner of every map, pushing the destruction to limits, and soaking the visuals and audio design. This isn't just a quick hot take, this is a full first impression on how the gameplay feels, how the destruction shapes battles, how the graphics and sound pulls you in, and whether or not Battlefield 6 is finally delivering the experience that fans have been begging for since the golden days of Battlefield 3 and Bad Company 2. Buckle up, this is going to be explosive. The beta offered a generous slice of Battlefield 6's core play, and it's clear that the developers are leaning heavily into a mix of classic Battlefield 3 chaos with modernized movement and some mechanics. We had access to fan favorite Conquest, which still delivers that epic large-scale battle feeling where every sound makes you tremble, especially those ones of tanks. This mode offers multiple objectives scattered across vast maps, each one becoming a micro battlefield of its own. The new breakthrough mode felt even tighter, more cinematic and more focused, with clear attack and defense phases that naturally build tension and drama. This one brought Conquest to a whole new level, which I personally loved in every way. For the first time after a long period of hopes and wishes, I somehow felt again that feeling that Battlefield 3 gave us back in the golden days. Of course, we also saw a King of the Hill mode and Domination, the fast-paced, more rushed infantry-focused mode. Movement and combat fluidity stood also out immediately. The new kinesthetic combat system allowed soldiers to lean dynamically around cover, vault into vehicles seamlessly, drag down teammates to safety, and even cling onto tanks or trucks in motion. It's all smooth with almost zero animation jank. Gunplay felt weighty and responsive, with weapons that have distinct recoil patterns you can master over time. And finally, we have the old class system back. Thank God. This is where things start to feel like the true Battlefield experience. The destruction in Battlefield 6 draws heavily from Bad Company's 2 Legacy, with buildings crumbling under sustained fire, walls shattering from tank shells, and cover literally evolving mid-fight. You can blast through a sniper's perch, drop a ceiling on enemies, or punch a hole in a wall to create your own breach point. Not everything is destructible though. Key structural elements remain intact to keep maps from turning into unplayable flatlands, but there's enough environmental change so that matches feel dynamic and unpredictable. It is always an eye candy to see a tank smash through buildings or to see a warplane bomb the ground to almost flatline. Every single time you start a new match, you will experience new and crazy stuff regarding the destructibility. However, there's still a bit room for polish, occasionally floating debris, odd clipping issues, and rare moments where destruction didn't register quite right can be seen, but these were minor hiccups in an otherwise spectacular system. Battlefield 6 runs on the latest iteration of the Frostbite engine, and it's jaw-dropping in motion. Every texture feels handcrafted and nice. It is also a big thumbs up that the devs have taken notes that not everyone has a high-end PC and did optimize the game even for more lower specs. Lighting is a showtopper. Golden sunlight blending through dust clouds, muzzle flashes illuminating pitch black interiors. Everything is just a chef's kiss. Performance-wise, the game held up impressively well for a beta. On my spec, which is a bit outdated, I barely saw any lags, besides the minor issues mentioned above. Console players also reported stable performance, though some minor pop-ins were visible on last-gen hardware. If there's one area where Battlefield 6 absolutely nails it, it's immersion. The sound of all-out war is an absolute game changer. Explosions don't just sound, they thump in your chest. Gunfire echoes differently depending on your surroundings. For example, tight alleyways amplify the sound, while open plains give it a distant pop, all wrapped around while your teammates either yell for gunfire support or for help. Vehicles have personality through sound design alone. a tank's deep mechanical growl, a jet screaming overhead, the metallic rattle of a mounted gun. All of these layers together to create the feeling that you are in the fight, not just playing it. The community energy around this beta has been electric. Queue times hit record highs with over 200,000 concurrent players trying to get in at peak hours. The appetite for a great Battlefield is clearly still massive. Battlefield 6's open beta felt like a return to form, a blend of classic, large-scale warfare with the kind of modern polish and fluidity that today's FPS fans expect. The destruction is satisfying, the gunplay is sharp, the graphics are gorgeous, and the audio is on another level entirely. It's not perfect, there's tuning to be done for the time to kill, spawn logic, and destruction consistency. But as a first public show, this is by far the most promising Battlefield entry in years. If the devs can take the feedback from the weekend and from the following one and apply it, we would be looking at one of the best FPS launches of this decade. So that's my full breakdown of the Battlefield 6 open beta's first weekend. But I want to know, what's your verdict? Were you impressed by the destruction, the sound design, or did the time to kill and bugs leave you skeptical? Drop your thoughts below, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, hit the like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell for more Battlefield coverage and gaming news. See you out there, soldier. Respect.